Welcome, guys. It is October 20. No, it's October 17th. I am really sorry. I literally looked at the date and still said that. And there's no like 20 anywhere on my computer. Wow. I don't know what happened. And I removed the blonde. Isn't the blonde supposed to be blonde? Yeah, whatever. I tried to make a joke and it wasn't funny. But I am rid of my hiccups for anybody who saw my awful Facebook Live video earlier where I couldn't get rid of my hiccups. I'm sorry for that. But let's get into the call. I'm so used to my old computer, I don't even know where any of my buttons are. But everything moves so much faster. It's such a beautiful thing with a real computer. Okay. So announcements. I announced these last week, or I think last week or the week before, but just wanted to chat about them again. New Coach Online Office is up. If you didn't know, they've been like very quickly updating things in terms of like when people give feedback. Like I've seen them update stuff pretty quickly. So if there's something that you notice, use that little feedback button in the corner and mention something, let them know and they'll fix it. And you can still look at your old online office view. So if like for me, I'm like trying to learn the new online office, but for me, it's still a bit confusing. So if ever I need to do like something and I need to do it right then and there, I just go to the previous online office view. So there's a button right on the main page that says go to old online office view that you can go and check out just in case you didn't know. The 5-day yoga program is up and running and brand new on Beachbody On Demand. If you're into yoga, if you think people might be into yoga, even if you don't necessarily do it, just like pop it on your Instagram story. Talk about how there's a new 5-day yoga program. And make sure you're always talking about how new stuff is added to Beachbody On Demand all the time. That's going to make people realize the value of it in terms of getting it. Because if they just think they're only getting just the workouts that Beachbody has to offer, they're gonna be like, well, you know, I already did all those workouts. But if they find out, like, they literally add new stuff every single month, whether it's a brand new program like Double Time or 80-day obsession, or it's just like a quick 5-day workout thing, or it's just new recipes on Fixate. There's always new stuff on there. So make sure you should be talking about Beachbody On Demand like every other day. Like in some way, you can, shout it out specifically. You can talk about the program you're doing. Just somehow you should be talking about that in your Instagram stories. November to Remember. I know they talked about it on, I think they talked about it on the National Wake Up Call. But the registration is officially open. It is teams of 2. So this is just like any of the other kind of team things that they've done, but it's in teams of 2. I mentioned this in the beginning of the call before I started recording it, so I wanted to mention it now, because people were asking this question. The Double Time Challenge Pack is worth 3 points for the month of November. Now, that doesn't mean just the double time with Shakeology as a normal challenge pack would be. It's a Double Time All Access Challenge Pack. So what it comes with, so it's a little bit more expensive. It's not $160, it's $180. But I'm personally going to try to get people to get this because for a few reasons. One, it's $180. They get the all access for the year. They get the DVDs for Double Time, which is nice. One, for in case somebody is old school and they like DVDs, or because it is a like partner workout. Let's say, you could just give your Beachbody On Demand password to somebody, but let's just say you were accessing Beachbody On Demand and they maybe wanted to do it at the same time. I don't know if you can even access Beachbody On Demand at the same time, but you could do Beachbody On Demand. They could do the DVD. So that's a benefit. You get an extra shaker cup. I think you get like a printed out meal plan too. So the meal plan that like you would normally have to like just go onto Beachbody On Demand to get, you get like a printed out meal plan, and you get the ball that comes with the Double Time workout. That is there. And I'm wondering too, if like, let's say you were doing the workout with somebody and like you guys couldn't actually do it together. Like, is there a way like you could just still get your workout done by yourself? I wonder. There's a lot of videos. So that's something else too you can check out. If you go to Beachbody On Demand, click on Double Time. There's a ton of videos that answer a bunch of questions. So you want to watch those videos. They're super short and quick. Get familiar with them. And that's something I'm actually going to talk about today. Something I'm going to actually talk about today in terms of getting to know your stuff to help you be more confident. And the FAQ is 8239 if you want to check it out. Coach Sneak Peek webinar. I went Facebook Live about it in the same page. It is this Thursday. It is not an all-day event. It's not a 2-day event. It's not. All it is a webinar. That's it. And it's going to be myself, Danny, Danielle, and Katie. We're going to be running the webinar. We're basically going to be talking about all the things that we would talk about in a sneak peek, but in a webinar, because we were thinking most people who are in the webinar, they're at work, they don't have time to watch the videos. Now, I'm not saying we're never going to do a sneak peek again, but we're going to just test it out and see. Maybe more people will get on the webinar, and we're trying to figure out how we can all go in as a group so they can see all of us in Facebook Live in the page, because there is a way, like you do it through Zoom, it's like confusing, but we're trying to figure it out. So use this to your advantage. Anybody that you've been talking to about coaching, make sure you post about it first of all, and then invite to it. It's just 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursday night. And if you have any UK people, it'll be 2 a.m. their time at that time, but you can always tell them to pop into the page and check out the webinar the next day if that works for them. Google Streak webinar. So I want to know, like, you know, this is the date I'm aiming for. I keep trying to schedule this, but things keep like getting in the way. That I think this will be a good time. I wanted to put it a little bit later in the day because I realized if we do it at 10 a.m., people who are on the West Coast, it's like super early. So I said, why don't we do 1 to 3? So I'm going to aim to do September 28th, 1 to 3. We didn't get to do this Streak webinar because I didn't have my laptop. I thought I was going to have it. I didn't have it. So we never ended up doing it. So if you didn't get to join us last weekend, don't worry. We didn't do it. You can still join us. Then the weekly challenge I want you guys to do. Why does this, that's not the weekly challenge. There's, for some reason, Canva likes to like mess with my things. I forget exactly what it was, but invite 10 people to the sneak peek on Thursday, if that's your challenge. I forget. There was like 3 separate things, but I don't even know what it was. So shout out to everybody in the 500 plus PV club. It was random. Nobody was in the 800. They were either above 900 or below 700 to be in these. Shout out to everybody in there. Shout out to Danielle for making a huge jump. I know you were hanging out there in the 500 club, and she's at 1135, which is really, really awesome. And Jeannie, who is up there as well with 1,272. That is freaking badass, you guys. Shout out to you. It's just you and me, Jeannie, on the board for Success Club right now. It is already the 17th, guys. So we have a ton of time, but at the same time, you don't have a ton of time. So make sure that you're on top of it. You're sending out your invites. You're sending out your follow-ups. Never think that you have enough time. That's the number one thing when coaches don't hit their goals. It's because you wait for the last 5 months or last 5 days of the month to try to do all your things, and you get stressed out. And then when the next month comes, you're like, oh, I just worked really hard. Let me put off some time. And then you end up in the same cycle. So just make sure you make some sacrifices. Maybe, you know, do some work on the weekend if you don't usually do work on the weekend. Try to find a way to make it happen. But there are a bunch of people that are already on the board. Just shout out to you guys. And I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So let's get right into the call. So let's talk about why confidence is so important in your business and how to build it. So some of the things we're going to talk about are, number 1, why confidence is important. 2, I want to specifically talk about the difference between cocky, confident, and faking it, specifically in the business, because there definitely is a difference. And then how to build confidence, and then if anybody has any questions at the end. So if you guys do have questions, please, I don't mind when you ask questions at the end, because I feel like a lot of times people don't want to be the one to ask a question, but I can guarantee you if you have a question, somebody else is thinking the same thing. So if you have any questions at all, just type in the chat box and I will answer at the end. Okay, and I have some notes on my phone. Okay, so confidence is important because a lot of these things are obvious, but just, you know, just to reiterate them, people don't want to see you as confident just because you're perfect. So don't think of, I'm confident or I need to be perfect so then I feel confident. It's like the saying, I'm going to love my body once I lose weight. It's not how this works. No, people don't want to see you confident and people don't want to see you perfect, and you don't have to be perfect in order to be confident. They just want to see you believe in yourself, no matter where you are in your journey. So sometimes other people won't believe in themselves. They cannot believe in themselves until they see someone they look up to do it. So if someone's been following you for a while, maybe you have some friends, or maybe just someone who found you randomly on Instagram, they've been following you. I get that message all the time that people are like, I loved watching your journey. Like, you seem so much more confident than you did. You know, when I first had my Instagram, I literally was like the most depressed person ever. And people have seen that. So wherever you are in your journey, know that it's okay if you're not the most confident person right now. As long as you're working on it and you practice these things we're going to talk about, that's what's going to be what people want to see. They don't want to see perfect. They just want you. They not that they want you, but they like seeing you grow, because then a lot of people don't believe in themselves, but when they see somebody reaching another level, or maybe not getting mad as, you see those people on Facebook that all they do is post super negative things. When they see that you're not doing that anymore, I was so that person. Like, anybody else can attest to this, like, shout out in the chat box. But like, if you see your time hop and you see these things come up and like the stuff that you post, you're like, oh my gosh, like I was so like gross and negative. Why did I even talk like that? I see that all the time, and it just makes me proud of myself. So people like to see your journey. So remember that. Also, if you do not carry yourself with confidence, people will see right through that. Now, I don't want to say that to scare you. If you're like, crap, I don't have any confidence, people are seeing right through that. But and this is something that's the whole energy thing and things that people can't necessarily physically always see, but they can kind of feel. But you can be posting things on your Instagram and on your Facebook and making your life look, awesome and great and like you have it all together. But if you don't actually have that confidence, people are going to see right through it. Again, which is why you need to work on it. I'm not just saying, beat yourself up because you're not confident. It's just something that you want to make sure. So I think a lot of people don't realize how important confidence is. They just think, oh, it's fine. I'll just keep working my business, keep faking it, again, which is something that we're going to talk about. But that people will see right through that. So it's important to get pure, real, legitimate confidence. So benefits, confidence helps you break right through any fear. Whether it's the fear of inviting, the fear of conversations, the fear of posting, the fear of vulnerability. I had posted that thing, I think like a poll or something in the team page. And I asked you guys, I think it was back in August, and I said, what is it that's the main thing that's holding you back from being successful in your business right now? And I think there was like there was like a bunch of different people commenting, but there was like 8 main ones. And I took a list of that, and I'm going to use it to help me create this kind of coach training that I want to plan for either November or the end of November. But one of the biggest things on there was, you guys said you were struggling with confidence and you had the fear of a bunch of things. So fear and confidence go hand in hand. If you have the fear of inviting, it's because you're not confident in inviting. If you have the fear of having conversations, or the fear of posting things, or the fear of being vulnerable, it's because you don't have the confidence to do so. So when you work on your confidence, when you build that confidence, you're going to be able to break through those fears. It doesn't mean that you're never going to have those fears again. I still get kind of nervous to post certain things because I'm not sure what people are going to say, even though I don't really care what they say. It's still normal to have that feeling, but you're so much more likely now to just post it anyway, or to not care once you post it, versus reading over it for 15 hours and be like, oh my gosh, should I post it? I don't know if I should post it. What if somebody says something? What if my grandma sees it? What if my friend from high school sees it and then they make fun of me? You don't think about that stuff anymore. So that is why confidence is so important. Second thing, confidence helps you go for and try things that you may never have tried before. This goes hand in hand with the first one, but there's lots of things that I can guarantee you, each and every one of you on this call, you have something that if you started doing, it would help your business. That it would help your business, whether it would make you make more money or add more coaches or just be a happier person, whatever it is, or just do your workout or just drink your Shakeology, whatever it is. There's something that you're not doing because you don't have the confidence in doing it, whether that's inviting or just running your own group, whatever it is. So when you build that confidence, that's going to help you get to those things that have basically been hiding in the corner of your brain that you would get done. So why would you not want to build that confidence? You know what I mean? Next, your conversations and your posts will perform better. Again, this is that not physically necessarily seeing it, but it's an energy type of thing. When you are faking confidence, or when you don't really have it, but you're just doing it because Beachbody coaches are supposed to, the way you speak about, what's the thing I always used to say? Like, if you believe that Shakeology is too expensive and no one's going to buy it because it's too expensive, guess what? Nobody's going to buy Shakeology because it's too expensive. So if you exude, even if you don't say it, even if you're explaining to the person that Shakeology is worth it, the way it comes off in your conversations, people can just feel that, even if they don't even know they're feeling it. They're subconsciously feeling it. So building that confidence, that's something that I think is really awesome to think about, is that it's not even something that you have to necessarily physically do. You work on your confidence, and automatically the way you put your captions in your posts, the way you have your conversations, that confidence is going to break through, and people feel that. People love working with people that are confident. I hear that all the time. It's one of the reasons why I named my team that, because I feel like it's so important, is to have confidence, because it makes you feel good, but it makes other people feel good and trusting you, and like, hey, this person is an awesome person. I want to build my confidence. I want to work with them. And then this is an important important part that goes hand in hand with this last part, the conversations and posts will perform better, is that you'll start attracting, one, people who want to be more confident. Those are going to be your challengers. Number two, those that already have confidence and want to surround themselves with people that are just like them. Those are the people that are going to be your coaches. So you want to attract both. You want to have a good balance. You want to attract people that do need your help in terms of a challenge group, and they need to build confidence, and they're ready to do that. But then you're going to have people who are already like, let's do this. Like, I have the confidence. Let me help other people. Let me make a business out of this. So you want to attract both of them. And you cannot attract those challengers or coaches, somebody who wants to gain confidence from you or somebody who wants to ride the roller coaster with you, unless you are working on your confidence. So the book I absolutely love, I mean, I love all of his books, but John Maxwell has a book called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I don't necessarily suggest a brand new coach read it. It's more so for somebody who might be starting to add coaches to their team. But it's a really great book. And there's a part in it where he kind of talks about this law of influence, law of all of them are kind of laws of leadership. But what he says is that you will never, or very rarely, ever attract a person that is at a higher level of leadership or influence than you. So what this means is, let's say your leadership level on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 7. You will only ever attract sixes and lowers. So you can't expect to be a 4 in confidence and attract someone who's going to be rocking the business at a 9 in confidence. You will not, not that you won't necessarily attract those people, but they're less likely to, necessarily want to join your team if you're lacking confidence. Now, it doesn't mean that you can never find somebody who wants to work the business, and it doesn't mean that a 4 is bad, but everybody's always like, I want to attract those rock stars. And it doesn't mean that you can never. You can build your confidence. You can build your level of influence. You can build your leadership. So I'm not saying it as in if you suck at confidence, you're never going to find an awesome rock star coach. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it to make you realize how important building your confidence is, so you can get that level 4 leadership or level 4 confidence level up to a 7 or an 8. So then you start attracting the 6s and the 7s and the 8s. And then, I mean, nobody's necessarily really ever at a 10 because you always have stuff you need to work on, but I hope that makes sense. So as I said, so if you build your confidence, you start attracting people of higher numbers. Now, it doesn't always mean that you never can. I attracted Carly Del Carlo, which at the time, I feel like we probably were both at the same level. But a year later, she hit number 7 in the company. So her level of leadership was higher than mine. At the time, we were probably the same, but then it grew. So it doesn't mean that you can never do that. So that's why I don't want to say necessarily never. It's just very rarely will you ever do that. So that's why I always want to continue to work on it. It takes work to work on these things. It's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would do it, but it's worth it. Okay, so I want to talk about the difference between cocky, confident, and faking it. And this is something that I made the mistake of doing as a new coach, and I see a lot of new coaches do it, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's just something that you want to be aware of. So the thing about being confident is where you want to be. That's the main part of where you want to be. And the reason why I made this little Venn diagram is because you want to have a little bit of each in there, and I'm going to explain it. But confident is the main thing you want to focus on. You want to be confident, legitimately confident in everything that you do, in your health, in your fitness, in your business, all of that stuff. But with cocky, the downside of being cocky in terms of being like a beach body coach or a health and fitness coach is when you post something and you crap on another company, and you don't have to like saying like Herbalife sucks, or like specifically like calling somebody out, or you're like, oh my God, I can't believe all these people don't want to drink green juice. Green juice is the best. If you don't drink green juice, you suck. Because think about it. When you started your journey, you weren't drinking green juices and going to hot yoga 3 times a week. You were eating fast food and drinking soda. So you have to remember that where you are at, no matter if you're just starting your journey or you're here, there's always going to be people that are lower than you that just don't have the knowledge that you do. The best quote I ever heard in terms of me always trying to come from a place of compassion, which I'm always working at, it's in my affirmations, is to understand that everyone is doing the best that they can with the knowledge that they have. So there might be somebody who is still eating fast food every single day and isn't working out and thinks that, like sour cream is healthy, is like, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that you want to bash them, whether it's in a personal conversation or if it's on your social media. Now, it doesn't mean you can't speak your mind, because I do that too, but you want to make sure that the way you word it is not condescending and it's not belittling. So you can totally get your point across. You want to spread the word about how these certain things are bad and certain things are good, and how you don't want to fill your body with soda all the time, like those things. But you want to make sure the way you say it. I always say that to Pat. He's not on this call, so, and he'll never watch this, so he doesn't know. But I'm always like, I don't get mad that you get mad at me. It's like how you get mad at me or how you say it. So just know that that's, you know, but the reason why you might want to have a little bit of cocky in your confident, that's more so in terms of the cockiness of like, I am going to freaking rock this and nobody's going to tell me otherwise. That's why just a little bit. And in terms of faking it, you don't want to just be doing your thing and, you know, I don't know really how to word this, but basically acting like you're confident while not being confident. I kind of touched on this throughout the call, but if you're not actually confident and you're just doing it because I told you to, or doing it because some personal development book told you to, and you're like, okay, I'm confident, I know I need to do this, but I actually hate myself. That is going to come across in your conversations. It's going to come across in your posts, and it's never going to come across genuinely. And if you're like, well, I'm trying to not be that way, but it sucks, you have to work on personal development. And I'm going to talk about how to work on your confidence, but that's why you have to. But the reason why you might want a little bit of faking it in there is because sometimes you do have to fake it till you make it. In the process of you building up your, you know, as long as you're working on it, you know, on maybe you have a day where you're not feeling that great. Now, I'm not saying you can't be honest. If you're having a bad day, you can talk about that. It's normal. You can talk about a bad mental health day or a bad binge eating day or whatever it is. But at the same time, you don't want to just be so, like, let's say you have an entire week where you just feel crappy. You don't want to constantly be posting negative things all the time. Sometimes you want to fake a little bit of confidence. You know what I mean? Again, why you want to have a little bit of the cocky and the faking it in there, but majority of it, you want to be confident. Okay, so let's talk about actually how to build confidence. I spilled water all over myself. Oh my gosh, there's literally a puddle in between my legs. Okay, I am special today. Okay, so number one way you want to build your confidence is through health and fitness. How? Number one, this is not only going to get you killer things like a great before and after. And before anybody says anything, I am not saying that you have to be thin or to be skinny to have a before and after. You can just be a healthier person. You guys know this. I've seen people who have completely changed their diet, worked out, and their bodies really don't necessarily look that different, but they just feel better. Their skin looks clearer. They're glowing. So when I say before and after, I do not mean just losing weight. I mean all kinds of before and afters in terms of health and fitness. But having a good before and after, no matter what kind of thing it is it's going to build your confidence directly, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I lost 10 pounds. My skin cleared up. I don't drink soda anymore. And this also, before and after, can also include like non-scale victories as well. You know what I mean? So it's going to directly build your confidence, because nobody can argue with that. If you aim to lose 10 pounds, or you aim to clear your skin, or you aim to do something in terms of like a before and after, and you achieve that, your confidence is automatically going to be like, hell freaking yeah. If you see a picture of yourself from 3 months ago and today, and you look different in whatever way is best for you, you're going to have that confidence. So a lot of coaches, when they join and they start working the business, they completely forget about their health and fitness journey. And that's something I'm going to have Vanessa speak about at the end of the call, but something that I have been so proud of her with is that she has really, really focused on her health and fitness journey. And, you know, I think somebody posted her before and after, and the team page was just been really, really awesome. But I can guarantee you, without even asking her, that has helped her confidence, because when and regardless of even whether you necessarily get like these huge before and afters, just knowing that you've been consistent. Like, let's say you were a person who never stuck to a workout, or you never stuck to clean eating, even if it was only for 2 days. Doing those things is going to help build your confidence in you. It's also going to prove to yourself that you can actually stick to a program. You can stick to a meal plan. And that doesn't mean perfectly. I follow Hammer and Chisel, and I've been doing it for a month, and I'm not perfect on the meal plan. I'm pretty perfect with the workouts, but not the meal plan. But at least prove to yourself that you can pretty much follow it. So nobody wants to be perfect. But it's also going to help get people intrigued. and asking like, in terms of your confidence, I used to get this all the time, especially when I went from that big change from being super negative to confident. People would literally be like, I don't know what it is, but there's something different about you. You will tend to get that a lot, whether it's, physically or mentally, just the way you carry yourself, but you want people to be intrigued. I'm always about reaching out to people, finding people, but you want to get to the point where, you're doing the prospecting, you're going out finding people, but at the same time, people are messaging you. You post something on your Instagram story and someone says, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I want to learn what you're doing. Number 3, they start seeing you kick ass and they want in on it. So again, kind of going hand in hand, but because you're exuding this confidence, and this could be something that makes somebody, when you get those messages where someone's like, I've been following you for 6 months, or I've been watching your journey for 3 months, and they don't reach out to you. As you build your confidence, that makes that time between when they are, they first follow you and when they reach out to you a lot shorter. So that confidence is just helping your business so much. Also, this is really important, and something that I found really helped me. The more you clean up your own fitness and your own nutrition, the more knowledgeable you become, making you more of an asset to people. AKA, oh my gosh, this person is really awesome. They know a lot about paleo. They know a lot about intermittent fasting. They know a lot about how to help PCOS. They know a lot about meditation, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And this could go, for any other topic, not necessarily health and fitness. And this could be anything. This could be something as simple as how to get more veggies into your diet. This could be how to eat clean when you're in an office and they constantly have bad food in the break room. You know what I mean? Like, this could be anything. It could be big or small. So know that as you grow, you're going to want to learn more about different things. You're going to have more knowledge. People are going to want to come to you for more things, which is what we want. Whoa, this was supposed to go on its own. Anyway, okay, so this is personal development and then affirmations and visualizations. So with personal development, you want to make sure you're building confidence in self by reading things like You Are a Badass, Mastering Your Mean Girl. But then you also want to make sure that you're building confidence in your business and your sales, and this is so important. Yes, I know sales are gross, but you still sell. It doesn't matter what you do. You could work any job that anybody has. You're selling something. Whether you own your own business, you have a food truck, you work in a restaurant, you're a dentist, you're selling something. So everybody sells. But you have to work on your sales skills. So many of you guys, I personally, when I joined, some of you guys even have like a retail background. I didn't even have a retail background. I was a server, so I had somewhat of that in terms of sales, but I didn't have any kind of sales background. I was reading personal development books about sales pretty much in the beginning. I don't really read them as much now because I read find out through podcasts and personal development, like audiobooks and stuff like that. But I was reading things like GoPro, Thank You Economy, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I didn't read these two, Pitch Anything and the Psychology of Selling, and you can just look them up and find the author. Why She Buys is another great book. But if you feel like maybe you're missing something, you're like, I feel like I'm doing good with my workouts, and I'm doing good with this, but I can't get people to say yes. Maybe your sales skills need a little bit of polishing. So maybe you're doing great in every other aspect, but pick up a business book, pick up a sales book. And I know we're always focused on, the universe and all that stuff. And You Are a Badass, which is great, but you got to make sure that you're focusing on growing your business and your sales skills. When you following people like Gary Vaynerchuk and specifically Grant Cardone, any of Grant Cardone's book, he talks about that. I think he has a book about selling and things like that. Look up his books. Make sure you're doing that. It's just going to better equip you to handle negativity. And this more so is the You Are a Badass type of books, the C bullet. It's going to better equip you to handle negativity, haters, and that's going to save your confidence because negativity can kill it. When you don't have confidence, when people hit you with negativity, you're going to crumble like a piece of paper. But when you work on your confidence through personal development, when that negativity hits you, you have more of a shield. Hope that makes sense. And then the other part of it is affirmations and visualization. We've talked about affirmations. You guys know I talk about it all the time. You really want to make sure, what do you say to yourself every day? Do you say to yourself, oh my gosh, this is like the 5th person that told me Shakeology is too expensive? You say stuff like that, you're going to attract more of that. If you wonder why people keep saying no, it's because you keep saying out loud, why does everyone keep saying no? I know it sucks, but you have to get past that. So think about what you're saying to yourself in terms of your own confidence in yourself and in your business. If you keep calling yourself fat, you keep calling yourself ugly, say you can't be successful, your team will never grow, you'll never be making a ton of money. That's what you're going to continue to get. So you need to brainstorm the things that you lack confidence in. to make your affirmations. And you want to make sure that it's not just the self-love confidence, it's the business confidence too. So brainstorm, let's say you have a fear of inviting, or you don't have any confidence in even just starting a conversation with someone. You need to include in your affirmation something like, I start conversations with people with ease. I have no trouble starting conversations with a stranger. I'm able to keep the conversation going, and it always leads to a sale, whatever. I don't know, something like that. But you kind of get the idea. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, brainstorm that specific thing and then word it in a way that is present tense, as if it already happens, as if it already exists in your world. In terms of visualization, you can simply just visualize a more confident you. You could say, I wake up in the morning and I don't second guess myself. I answer my emails and my Facebook messages with the most confidence. I rock my Instagram posts. I kill my workout, and I, just stick to my meal plan like a boss. Something like that. Those things, they sound silly, but I promise you, if you start doing those every single day, you're going to have a lot different outcome in your business. Okay, another thing. Do you want to educate yourself on our products? If you are a Beachbody coach and I ask you what's in Power Greens or what makes Focus Energy so awesome, and you do not know, that's going to totally kill your confidence. If somebody asks you, what's your favorite superfood in Shakeology, and you do not know, that's going to kill your confidence. So it's important to educate yourself. You don't have to know every little bit nook and cranny of the product. If you want to do that extra work, it's just going to help your business. There's no downside to knowing too much information about your product. But when you do that and you know a little bit about it, even if you just know a little snippet, that's going to make you feel confident. Because when somebody asks you that question, you're going to be like, I already know. The thing I do, because I forget everything, if you have a bad memory like me, I keep my responses in my scripts. You guys know I talk about scripts all the time. But like, even if someone asks me the smallest thing, I automatically copy, paste, and save it, because I never know when someone's going to ask me that again. And I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I totally remember somebody asked me that. And I go back to my scripts, copy, paste, boom, done, over it. So side things, I kind of just already talked about that. But the second part, you're not only going to feel more confident in yourself, because it's obviously easier when you feel confident talking to somebody about something that you know about. You don't even blink twice. You just talk to them. You feel confident. It feels good to talk about it because you know about it. But it's going to play out that the person that you're talking to is going to sense that. So not only is it going to feel good in here for you, it's going to feel good in that person. And if they trust you because they see that you have confidence, they're more likely to say yes. So if you're hearing no, make sure you're aware of how confident you are in yourself, because if you are unsure, you're shaky, it's just kind of all over the place, people are going to sense that. It's kind of like a bee that can sense fear. They're going to, well, a bee might sting you, but just think of the opposite, the bee running away. So physically, this is something I was just listening to in the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money, by Jen Sincero, which is amazing. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it is, because I was like, I love her, but like, well, how is it going to be any different than any other money book? But it's like so easy to follow. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. But you can literally trick yourself, your mind, into being more confident. And this is different than faking it. So in terms of your body, doing things like holding your head higher, putting your shoulders back, something I love doing before I walk into a room, and I feel like I'm pretty aware of it all the time, but I do a roll back of my shoulders and I pinch my shoulders back. Now I'm not like walking around like this, but I like to roll my shoulders back and just tilt my chin up before I walk into a room. Now that might not be something you're used to, but I can guarantee you, when I roll my shoulders back and like make sure my back is flat, my posture is up before I walk into a room, before I walk into something, I feel more confident, because I'm not like walking around like this, like with my arm on my elbow or like this, you know what I mean? And when you're like this, you also close off yourself to universal energy. People are not going to approach you. And you never know how one conversation with someone could change your life. One conversation. And if you're like this and you walk into a room and you could meet someone, but you're like this, now nobody's going to come up to you. Now I'm not saying just because you're like this, somebody's going to come up to you, but you're going to feel more confident. So if you start a conversation or someone else starts a conversation with you, it just, again, it tricks your mind into thinking you're more confident than you are. Again, different than faking it. You can walk with a little strut. Now I'm not saying you have to like straight up like walk down the runway. I mean, if you want to, more power to you, but like, have a little pep in your step. Don't kind of like be all, you know, closed in and like worried about what you look like. Now, I'm not saying you're a bad person if you feel that way, because I felt that way. But again, do these things to trick yourself. Make sure your back is straight. Firm handshakes. I can't stand when I give somebody, some lady shook my hand today when I was at the salon. She was like a masseuse. She was like going around giving people massages. Makes no sense because she's a masseuse. But she shook my hand and she was like, I love a firm handshake. I give a really firm handshake. And I think it's really important to do that. When you shake someone's hand, you are showing the other person that you're confident, and you're like, hey, look at me go. I am confident. And practicing things like in terms of the business, if you're afraid of voice messages, practice the voice messages. If you're scared, just do it once and just do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and start recording. And don't let yourself take that finger off the button. Just do it. And it might sound silly and you might stumble over your words, but if you never go through that like crackly, messing up your words, maybe and let go of the button and have to restart, and then you ended up sending them like 5 different messages. If you never go through that, like basically a new baby trying to walk, like a baby deer trying to figure out its legs, you'll never get to the part where you rock your voice messages. If you keep putting off voice messages, you never get good at the voice messages, and it just becomes a cycle and you never can do the voice messages. So you have to screw up. You have to screw up. You have to fail forward. If you haven't read the book Fail Forward, read it. It's amazing. Fail forward in your voice messages. Fail forward in talking on the phone. Fail forward in taking yourself outside your comfort zone. In the book, You Are Baddest at Making Money, she talks about how in the book she had a niece that wanted to come visit her in Venice Beach. And she was only 15 and she was afraid of flying, and she had to like navigate JFK because she was coming from New York, and then navigate LAX. So the mom was going to drop her off, and she was like, don't worry, you're never going to be alone. I'm going to walk you through the terminal because you're a minor. I'm going to get you to the plane. Somebody's going to pick you up, take you, put you on the plane. And once you get off the plane and you get to LAX, Jen's going to be there and she's going to pick you up. So you're never going to be alone. But on the way to JFK, the girl and her mom got stuck in traffic. They were super late. So she literally had to like drive up to the place, tuck and roll. And she pushed her out of the car and she was like, run, you're going to miss your flight. So she ran in, ended up figuring it out somehow. And Jen said when she saw her niece come off that plane at LAX, she said she was like walking around like she had her suitcase, like she said something like, Jen is hilarious. If you've never read a book by Jen Sincero, she's absolutely hilarious. But she was like, she was walking around with her suitcase like she could have flung it in the air, swung it, beat you with it, and stole your car if she wanted to. You know what I mean? So the fact that she was forced into something that was not her comfort zone, and she had to go through that, it makes you more confident. So many of you guys are fighting. I'm not good at the business because I'm afraid to start conversations. I'm afraid because I don't want to bother somebody. I'm afraid to do this because I'm afraid of inviting. I'm afraid to invite to coaching. I'm afraid to post this. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. And you never do that thing that gets you outside your comfort zone. How do you think you will ever break free of that if you don't ever just do it? So if you struggle with that specifically, really highly recommend reading Fail Forward. It's really, really good. So thank you guys so much. Vanessa, I really quickly just wanted you to, I'm going to unmute you. Let me stop sharing really quick. I just wanted to have Vanessa to just share a little bit about kind of just what she's been doing. I don't even know specifically what she's been doing, but I have noticed from the day she signed up, which I guess, I feel like it's been a year because I had like a little Facebook notification that was like, you guys just became friends. I just unmuted you, but I've noticed from when she signed up until now, not only has she had really great before and after, so she's obviously been kicking butt in her Health and Fitness journey, but her confidence has grown. So Vanessa, if you can just share whatever you like, there's no right or wrong, just kind of what you personally have been doing that has like helped your confidence.
Okay, I got my notes. Also, I look like I've been bawling for hours, but I'm actually extremely sick and my eyes keep watering and it's just bad. Okay. So actually my year will be next month. I joined, the very first thing I ever did was I joined the post-Turkey Day detox group. So that was the first thing I did. Then immediately after, I got amazing results from that detox. And so I like immediately was all for challenge group and then started to die off after that. But so I joined my first challenge group. I think I might have bought my challenge pack in December and my first challenge group was in January or something like that. And immediately after that, I joined as a coach because I was like, this is your job. Like, you get to be happy and help people. Like, this is what you do. And like, I wanted to do that so bad. And so in that challenge group, we were supposed to read Mastering Your Mean Girl, just like most of the other challenge groups. And so I got it, and I was really open to it at first, and then I was like, damn, this is a lot of work. Why? And I was kind of like, it didn't seem as appealing, because I was like, and then I was like, wow, how is reading going to help me lose weight and be happy? And so I kind of stopped reading. But in all the challenge groups after that, and in the team page, Alexis would always ask us about our personal development readings, and I was like kind of making stuff up as I went and go read a page just so I had some feedback on that. But then I actually started reading again, and it took me probably 5 or 6 months to finish Mastering Your Mean Girl. And I remember some from it, but not a lot. But one of the main things that stuck out to me was when she talks about gratitude, and she said there can't be joy until there's gratitude. And I seriously say that to myself every single day. But so personal development has always been rocky for me, honestly, until I started reading this book I'm currently on right now. But
what book are you reading?
Miracle Morning.
Oh yes, such a
Miracle Morning is my shit. I love this book.
Yay! She's reading it too.
So then, after I finished Mastering Your Mean Girl, I jumped into business development books, because I said I wanted to take a couple months off because I got overwhelmed in the beginning. So that's whenever I was trying to just get myself in order. And I also was at a job that I hated. So I hated my life every day at that job, which made it hard for me to find a routine for everything that worked. Then probably in June or July was whenever I decided to actually try affirmations. And the very first affirmation on my list that I keep on my phone is I am confident in myself. And the very first time I ever got up the courage to look myself in the mirror and say that was after my boyfriend left for work one morning. And I looked at myself in the mirror, excuse me, I'm sorry, in the bathroom. And I said that affirmation, I am confident in myself. And I started bawling. I couldn't do it. It was so hard, and I cried a lot, but I just kept doing it. And sometimes I couldn't look myself in the eye, and sometimes I was really shaky when I was saying it. And but I kept doing it, and now I look at myself and I'm just like, yeah, I love affirmations. And I tell my boyfriend, his friends, I tell everyone about affirmations. I love them. But so then I started affirmations. Let's see. So I took a break from the personal development after I finally finished Mastering Your Mean Girl, jumped into business development books because I was like, okay, I finished that one. I'm ready to focus on my business. So I read Go for No, and I finished that really fast. And I did like that one. And it helped me a lot with my messaging and getting my contact list in order. And then I started reading the 12-week year. But I didn't finish that one. I got close, but I was like, I don't need this right now. And so then I was going to jump back into personal development because I felt like there was still something missing. And I knew what was missing was still my confidence. I wanted to work on the business, but I knew reading those books really wasn't going to do me anything because I still wasn't confident in that aspect. And so then I ordered You Are a Badass in August. At the end of August, I ordered it. But then Katie said she was doing the Miracle Morning group, so I wanted to join that one and try that one. And I'm still reading that book, and this is the most consistent I've ever been with my reading alone. And so now I wake up at 5 every morning, and I don't have to be at work until 8, but I wake up at 5. I do my workout. I was waking up at 5 and didn't have to be at work until 9, a month ago. But anyways, so I wake up at 5, and I did my workout and my Miracle Morning routine and was actually focusing more on myself, and I love it. I've only been doing visualization and meditation for about a week now, and I've noticed a huge difference just in that. That's honestly helped a lot. That's pretty much it for personal development wise. Everything just kind of fell together with nutrition and fitness. When I signed up my challenge group and coaching and stuff back in January, I was super inconsistent with my workouts, and I did maybe a couple a week, and I barely did those. My nutrition was not on point at all. Then I decided to do the Ultimate Reset in March, where I was eating a fully vegan diet. And with my PTSD, I get these really weird episodes, and I noticed, and I had never gone a day without them since I started getting them my sophomore year in high school. And halfway through doing the ultimate reset, I had noticed that I hadn't got them anymore. And I was like, whoa, all I have to do is eat healthy, blah, blah, blah. And they were better. And so that's what motivated me personally to like get on point with my nutrition. It wasn't about losing weight anymore. It became more about my actual health. And so after that, I started getting more consistent with my nutrition, and I started practicing my meal prepping. And like you said earlier, the confidence can come from just getting in a good routine and actually sticking to your workouts. And that's so true. Like, from not being able to get more than 2 workouts in a week to working out every single day and not liking to miss a workout. Like, that makes me really proud of myself. And so I like to show that off. And then my fitness routine, really, that fell into place after I quit my shitty job that I hated before. I quit that at the very end of April. So I started my new job like the first week of May. And with that, it really was all about trial and error and finding a routine that worked for me. And that's what I liked about this, was that I've done so many different things and I finally found what worked for me. And so, I don't know, everything just like really fell into place. And I think you have to have an open mind with all of it. And like, if you're reading the personal development, I feel like you can't really just read the words and it's going to just give you confidence. You still have to actually work at it and stuff like that. But definitely after I found that routine that worked for me and getting those results and building the confidence from learning those things and getting consistent with it, that really helped a lot. And then by getting consistent with everything and getting those results, I was getting good feedback from other people on social media, and that really helped too. And so, I don't know, honestly, all of this just kind of like personal development, the nutrition, and the fitness, all 3 as one, really came together in the last like month or 2. Before that, it would take turns being like one or the other was on point, but now just recently all 3 are like on point at the same time. So,
which are basically the vital behaviors.
Yeah, I know. It's like whenever you're a kid and your parents tell you something and you're like, whatever, then you get older and you're like, damn, they were right. It's literally the exact same thing. Like everything we learned in the beginning, you're just like, okay, I get it. And then you struggle for a minute and then you actually get it. And you're just like, damn, you were right.
Yeah, and I liked what you said. And I think it's important for everyone to know, especially you guys that are kind of stuck. Because I know there's so many of you that you're not like at the beginning, you're not necessarily like blowing up and making $1 million every single day. I mean, neither am I, but you're like kind of in the middle of like, you keep almost getting there, but then you take a step back and then you keep almost getting there. But she said that it took her a while because she had to try a bunch of things. And I think everybody's so obsessed with trying to just figure out like this one thing, or like to think that they have to have it figured out. But like Vanessa said, you have to just like try a bunch of things until you figure it out, but always be trying them. Don't just completely throw your hands up in the air and be like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like try a bunch of things, whether it be health and fitness, whether it be personal development, whatever it is, you have to try a bunch of things in order to find what works. I swear to God, I always say, I feel like I didn't really get the wheels going on my business until January of 2016. I signed up in March of 2013.
Wow.
So, I mean, I was doing stuff before then, but I personally didn't feel like things were clicking for me until, and that's like 2 years ago, maybe a little bit before that, but so.
Really quick about the personal development, I think something that was holding me back with that also is that I felt like you had to read like at least 30 minutes a day or else you just failed at personal development. So that was another thing that kind of kept me from getting it done. And I said that now is the most consistent I've been with my personal development since I've started with Beachbody. And I'm not even halfway through this book. But what I do now, since I work out outside, I get really hot and it's cold when I come inside to the air conditioning. So I literally read for 10 minutes while I'm cooling down outside. Yeah. And that 10 minutes has been enough for me. And like, I really like this book, so it's keeping me really interested in it. And so like, I don't know, that's one thing that's helped me, I think, is pushing or like making my personal development come right after my workout when I'm cooling down.
Yeah. And that's something that like for me, I was reading personal development after I did. Now I'm a little different because I work from home, but like I would do my meditations and then read my personal development every time I'd fall asleep. So somebody suggested, which is like the most obvious thing, but they were like, why don't you just read at your desk? Because I was reading on the couch and I was like falling asleep. And then I just started reading at my desk, but I would read after my workout versus right after meditation, so that I wasn't as tired. So sometimes you just got to mess with your routine, figure out what works. And like you said, even if it's only 10 minutes, 10 minutes is fine. Now, I always try to suggest, like for me, I sometimes just don't have time to like read, and I have ADHD. So I listen in the car and I drive a lot. So I can get like an hour's worth done just by listening. Now, I personally love listening to music, but sometimes I'm just like, it's more important for personal development right now. So it's just about kind of finding that out. So yeah. So thank you, Vanessa, so much for sharing. Thank you guys so much for staying on and checking all of this out. I hope that this was helpful. If you found any kind of nugget of information helpful, please just take it and run with it. This confidence stuff takes a while, guys. It's not something that you're going to work out for a week and all of a sudden you're going to be confident. And if you personally don't struggle with confidence, find a way to help someone else with their confidence, whether it's a coach or a challenger, whatever it is. If you feel like you rock it with confidence, then talk about that on your personal development. Help your challengers with that. Talk about that in your challenge group. There's always something you can either work on yourself or help somebody else. So thank you guys so much. We're having a webinar on Thursday at 9 p.m. So make sure you post about it, invite, get people in there, and we'll see you guys then. Peace out.
Okay. Bye.